Coach, it's finally, you guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Finally here, man. We've been talking about this forever. You guys have been through a grueling camp. What's it like to finally be in a game mode?
I think our guys are ready to hit somebody else. It doesn't matter who it is. They made mention of that after our little situation scrimmage on Thursday, and been a little different preparing for a Thursday game to open up the season. It kind of got us out of our comfort zone, but that's good. Hopefully, we'll be doing a lot of things new toward the end of the season that'll be new to us as well. So we'll just have to go and adapt. But it's still been pretty physical and got a lot of reps this week, so I think they'll be ready to play.
Other than it being on a Thursday, normalcy kind of getting back to where it was. What's it like to be able to play in this stadium with the crowd there, the band there, everyone kind of with the same atmosphere?
Well, I think the number one thing I'm looking forward to, and one of the reasons we moved this to a Thursday night, was for our student body to see what happens and remember what goes on game day here now with the whole tailgate experience, with the buff walk coming down through the tailgate, and then actual game itself. So we wanted them, as an athletic department, wanted the student body to be more involved, and hopefully they'll come have a good time and continue to come back and stay on the weekends and support us. I think the biggest thing our players have talked about, I'm looking forward to, is that buff walk coming to the stadium. I think that's a very exciting type deal for us and our players. And last year we did that walk still, and had a handful of parents sitting at the end. So to smell the tailgaters, to hear the bands, to hear the music, to everybody cheering and clapping, and hopefully we'll have 3,000 people out there if we can get it. This is a good excitement, a good start to the game.
You've been high on your offense, since we've talked to you and talked to Lance about it. Is this maybe potentially the best offense you've put on the field here in 5 years?
Oh, absolutely. I think it has the potential to be the best with, got basically our entire offensive line returning. We've added a new guy in there, Jacoby Lott. He's blended in really well. Nick's another year. He's got a year under with Coach Martin, and with Khalil and Brendan Blair, and with Jordan Johnson back, and Jeremy Conbay and Max Perez. We could go 13, 14 personnel and just hand the ball to any running back, and I feel like we'd be successful. I keep pushing to do that, but they don't want to. They want to get these little receivers involved. But I think if there is a issue in depth, it is a receiver. I think we've got some really outstanding receivers. The depth part comes with the fact that there's not a lot of experience in that room right now. Here, we've got some guys that have played. Noah Bogardus came in from Azusa Pacific last spring. Hunter Kaufman came in from Kansas last spring. So I think that, I say experience-wise, I say experience playing here at West Texas for us. So, but yeah, I think it's, there's again, potential doesn't do anything, right? Except set you up for failure, I think. So I'll say that we have a lot of potential. We'll see what happens when they see something different.
So talk about Texas College, talk about this matchup and how you're feeling with your team coming into that.
I just know that Texas College are the Steers, and they're from Tyler, Texas. We've got zero film. We got nothing. We're going into this thing blind. I know their head coach is Greg Ellis, who's got a couple of Super Bowl rings, and from the Cowboys. So knowing a little bit about him, playing days, watching him play, he'll have his guys ready to go. But we have not seen any film, and they didn't play last year. So it's going to be interesting to kind of feel out what they do offensively and get a grasp on it. We have no game plan on defense. Our offense, we've been given different looks, and we've actually been going against each other in different personnel groupings. Our offense going against our defense, and then our defense doing the same thing for offense scouting. So it should be interesting. We don't know special teams wise who they have. That we don't know how they're going to line up for punt, how they're going to line up for kickoff, anything like that. So you kind of go in and trust what you've done and keep moving forward as the game goes on. And I think it's exciting for us coaches because you got to make adjustments on the run, and that always kind of sharpens your skill.
Then we got to ask about your defense. You being a defensive guy, how have they progressed in camp?
I think they progressed in camp. I think when your offense sees the same look over and over again, and they can tell. I mean, they know our calls, they know everything like that, and they're pointing out where blitz is coming. It's one of those things where let's just go out and play hard. And we had a scrimmage earlier that I didn't think our guys came out ready to play. Didn't play hard. I think they've responded from that. I think that's the biggest thing is we're gonna make mistakes. It's a different type of defense. We've got a really young defensive line, especially after the first guys. You'll see a lot of new names out there. And they just got to get adjusted. They got to get a game under their belt. I think our scheme defensively is sound in how we do it. And it's just easy to get exposed when the same guys are looking at you over and over again and know which way you're moving and know what your stunt's coming and all that kind of stuff.
Coach, I was going to ask, with all your returning players that you have this year, all that experience, do you feel like they're stepping up as far as leadership, like things that you're seeing the players do maybe that in the past you coaches were having to do more?
I think one of the big ones that exemplifies that is, I guess it was maybe Saturday morning. We had some guys come out late for walkthrough, so we stretched and then we ran for 50 minutes. And then I wanted to make a point to our guys that that's unacceptable. You talk about being a championship program and championship team. It's not a coach's responsibility to get guys out ready to go. It's a player's responsibility and accountability. And one of the seniors came up to me and said, "Coach, I'm glad you did that." And he was one of the ones that was late. And I said, "Well, hell, we ran for you." And he said, "I know." He goes, "But it set a tone." And I told him I was late and I'm one of the ones they're running for. He said, "Well, then just don't do it again," and encourage guys to get out there. So leadership is really starting, I think, to start showing itself. Again, and it's when adversity hits is when you really start seeing it. So, going through the season, we'll look at adverse times and see if our leadership rises to the occasion.
After this fall, any player or any aspect of your team really step up and surprise you these past 3 weeks?
The first guy that comes to mind is Heston Marshall from Wheeler. We had him at outside backer, and this just shows you how big idiots we are. We started him at outside backer. He weighs 170, but he's a tough kid. About a week and a half in, moved him to running back. And if y'all read a scrimmage, you can see what he can do. He has got speed. He catches the ball well out of the backfield. He's got great vision. We would worry about him taking a lick, but he always seems to kind of find his way out of that and doesn't ever absorb a hard shot. But he'll be our starting kick returner and our punt returner as well this week. So we are looking forward to see what he can do with the ball in his hands. But he's the number one guy that steps out and stands out